And welcome to the Remote Cast Show. How's everybody doing today?
What's up, Barry? What's up, guys?
What's up? We got the whole team here, minus one. We have Dr. Tim, hopefully will be jumping on to join us. He's with a patient right now, and if he wraps that up, he'll jump on the remote cast. But otherwise, we've assembled the Avengers, and we want to talk a little bit about what's going on, status updates with the clinic, where we are with just the stay-at-home shelter-in-place type thing, and we've got some other updates to get into as well. But why don't we start off with the clinic update? So we are still open, and we are still seeing patients. We just want to make sure everybody knows when you should come in or maybe shouldn't come in. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone is really being respectful of the shelter in place, which is, I think, really why that curve here in Washington is flattening nicely. We are really as continuing to be very, very careful in the clinic, and at the same time, we want to be open for the people who are in pain and urgently need care. So all our same precautions are in place in the clinic, with our social distancing, seeing just a few patients, so only really one patient at a time right now, sometimes two, but we have a very big clinic, so we're able to really space people out. But again, all of us have made that decision that we need to be here in the clinic for you in your time of need. We all feel very passionately about that. So that's what we're doing. We are open. We are open most hours, and your doctors are spread apart. So the hours are a little differently, but when you call in, we'll look after you. And again, I think the interesting discussion within this is, what pain should you not ignore, and what pain should make you give us a call and come look after yourself. I think everyone's being very, very, very careful to try to be, to not consume as much, both in medicine. All elective surgeries are canceled, and certainly people are limiting the care they're getting. They're not getting their dental cleanings. They're not getting as many massages, all that type of stuff. And we fall a little bit within that category, but we're also the people who can get you out of drastic pain. And so there's pain that should be ignored at this current time. Like if you have a little tweak or a little something that's bugging you a bit, but you can work through it with some exercise at home, do so. Stay home, stay safe. But certainly there's certain categories of pain that I think you shouldn't ignore, and we can talk about those as a group. But any sort of nerve pain, intense headaches, low back pain that's slowing you down from exercising, which is vital during this time to both stay sane and stay healthy. Expanding the lungs is very preventative with COVID, so we want to keep that in mind. We got to stay active. And then neck pain, from all of those of us working so much more at home, myself included. I'm on a laptop more, doing all sorts of protocols for the clinic, which is wonderful to have the time to do that. But at the same time, I've certainly taken advantage of getting some care from my wonderful providers. So just a bit of a discussion, I think, about pain.
Yeah, I'd say, especially lately, we've been seeing a lot of people coming in, some of them even nurses, with a lot of like neurogenic pain, like you're talking about, like where they're getting like sciatic-like pain, shooting, sharp pains, lightning-like pains down the back of the leg, into the foot, back of the calf. Seen that a lot more with people that are working a lot more now, which tends to be the nursing population. But there's also, like you said, people that are sitting more, stuck at home more, kind of getting like thoracic outlet type syndromes, which would essentially be sciatica for the upper body. And those are things you don't want to ignore. You don't want any progressive neurological issue, which tingling, burning, numbness, weakness, that's progressive neurologic issue. That is urgent. You don't want that to progress. You want to nip that as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think those are all really good points. I think, to simplify it even more too, it's a matter of, if your pain is increasing and you're usually like on a scale from 0 to 10, if you're at a 3 and all of a sudden your pain is increasing to about a 6 or a 7, that's probably something you want to address. And as far as quality of pain, if the pain that you're experiencing is changing as far as like what you're feeling, like Dr. Lee mentioned, the nerve pain, the numbness, the tingling, any sort of weakness. If it's not familiar to you, it's probably something that you would want to address, and you would want to consider that urgent. So any increases in pain and changes in quality is something that you'd probably want to make sure that you address, and soon.
Yeah, I think when I initially hear that word urgent, I often think of like emergency, where it's like I've chopped my arm off or something, I've lost a limb, and it just like it's urgent. But I think if we frame that up to understand, urgent meaning there's the wrong type of progression, meaning things are getting worse, they're not getting better. That's a signal like, hey, get this taken care of. And then I think some of the points you guys are bringing up are really good around it's getting in the way of you being able to accomplish certain tasks or normal functions. So I think another great way to think about urgent care is like you can't do the normal things you would do and that you need to do to get through your day. So if it's preventing or getting in the way of the work from home type stuff, or Andy, you're bringing up if it's kind of prohibiting you from getting really what we should be considering a minimum amount of daily exercise, which is minimum kind of walking, some light cardio, some stuff that's then we should be looking at that and understanding, okay, that's getting in the way of you living your normal life and doing your normal daily thing, new normal right now, and that should be something you should take care of. Tim, thoughts that you have on kind of what you're seeing right now, what we're seeing people treated, and maybe advice or thoughts that you would give on what types of things should you get addressed at this point?
Well, I think from what I've heard so far, after, sorry for joining a little bit late here, but I think it really is, like you were just kind of touching on a little bit too, Barry, is just, things are going to be affecting like what you're doing in your normal day, although that normal has kind of changed a little bit from what it was before. So anything that you're trying to do, I mean, if you're trying to go outside and go for a walk and you're noticing some pain that's limiting you from doing that, or household daily activities that you're doing at home, if you're having pain that's waking you up at night, you're not able to sleep, which is definitely something we want people to get right now, is an adequate amount of sleep. Anything like that, or like Dr. Lee was saying, just like any sort of nerve type pain that is increasing, like even without you doing anything, like you're just sitting at home, you're not doing your normal daily activities, you're not going out to exercise, and you're having pain that is increasing, that's a great time to come in and get treated, because you want to figure out what's going on there. Or if you are exercising, you're doing home workouts that you haven't necessarily been doing before, and you're trying new things to try and make it work for doing those workouts at home, and you're noticing new pains with that, that's also a great time to come in, just because I would consider that urgent care, because, you might be doing something that could be affecting your body in a negative way. And you definitely want to figure out what that is and kind of have some strategies to get past that, to be able to go back to what you love doing at home as much as you can do what you love doing at home, given everything that's going on.
Yeah. And I would say is a great example, like yesterday, I have like a whole hodgepodge of different workout stuff at the house, right? And so I have some heavy dumbbells that I borrowed from Industrious, and then I have this sick bag of elastic bands from like the 1990s, body elastic, which like some just awesome leotard looking, models and stuff. But these things are incredible. You can hook them everywhere. The different bands are like different weights. There's like a 7-pound band, a 13, 23-pound, and some really thick giant bands. Like I can't even move them. But anyways, I'm doing all this weird stuff trying to get a back workout. And today I woke up and I was like, oh yeah, I tweaked something weird, like in my lat pec connection area. But that wouldn't be urgent, right? Like to your example, like I'm fine. I could hit that with a lacrosse ball. I can stretch it out a little bit, get moving, and it's going to be okay. Now, if it progressively got worse, so let's say by Sunday, it's like I'm in terrible pain. I'm inflamed. I can't, like, maybe I tried to do overhead. I can't go overhead, and now this part of my body is like frozen. That then would be the nut type of negative progression we're talking about. And at that point, I should be like, I got to get this taken care of, because I did something and it's not getting better. And in fact, it's getting worse.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And that's one of those times where it's like, I feel like most people kind of know the difference between like, okay, I have a really sore muscle versus like, this is an actual injury that I need to take care of. And like, this is something more than that. Like if it's affecting, like, let's say it's a shoulder type issue and it's affecting you even lifting your arm up, or like reaching for something, the strength is starting to go down, anything like that. Yeah, that's when we're getting more into that urgent type care, not just the sore muscle that we might have from using some awesome bands up for a home workout. So
totally. And I think another good example would be like if you are running more right now because you can, it's great. It's like the weather's been awesome and you're getting outside and you're running, and your like plantar fasciitis or whatever is just getting worse and worse, and that's become your primary form of exercise, I think that would also, stuff like that, where it's like, this is like your primary form of exercise, you're on a negative progression, you should, like, let's get that taken care of so you can keep doing what you're going to do.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'd like to just, everyone who is watching, like, our Facebook page is loaded with awesome self-release stuff. So if you do, some little tweaks, like little sore plantar fascia or whatever, have a look at all the stuff we posted for that.
Yeah, it's really easy too. You can just go into, it's the best place because there's like so many great resources there, and you can just click on our Facebook page and click on videos, and that will bring you just to all the videos, and they're all really easily labeled and clear what they are. And there's a ton of stuff, with foam roller, with lacrosse ball, with rock floss, you might not have rock floss and some of this other stuff, but generally everybody has a lacrosse ball and a foam roller, or could get one. And there's some really good self-care tips there.
Definitely.
So moving on to how the doctors are entertaining themselves without you patients. It has become very amusing at Head to Toe. And yesterday, Dr. Lee got into the storage cupboard, something we've been avoiding for a long time, and did find some interesting old rehab equipment of mine. That was pretty funny.
Pulse flex all day.
I don't remember what the pulse flex are really, but I did finish with a patient to come out to see them all using these kind of bars with rolling beads within them. It was I guess you had to be there, but it was pretty funny.
Just jazzercising. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you put it on our Instagram story, our Head to Toe Instagram story. Did you not?
Yes, I did.
think so.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out on Instagram.
It would go well with Barry's banded ball. Let's put it that
It would,
way.
yeah. They were probably from the same era, like in the 90s.
Yeah, we should do an 80s rehab zone, when this all
man, we should get some Thigh Master. We could get some on the side of Thigh Master.
Oh, yeah.
Just getting that inner thigh. We could get one of those
weights.
little walk stations that you put under your desk that you could just walk back and forth on. I mean, that stuff's pretty legit.
Just gonna rub
Squeezy
these
balls. Remember those grip squeezers with the have big spring and you squeeze them to build your forearm strength?
Love it.
Oh my gosh.
You guys have been doing
Funny.
some self-development, and some kind of cross discipline teaching, instruction, and using this time to kind of take your skills up, which is cool.
Yep.
Lee, did you do a little workshop for the docs the other day?
Yeah, I mean, we've been making it a point just because we have some free time to just better ourselves, right? And since we all kind of do different things, we just feed off each other. And like Dr. Ashley the other day did like a neurodynamic workshop for us, which is kind of like a basic overview of like how she addresses nerve tension on her patients. Because it's obviously stuff that we could use on everybody in the clinic. So with just everybody having a different type of skill set and everybody being really good at what they do, like we're kind of, it's an embarrassment of riches here where we can all kind of feed off each other and just learn, progress. So the other day I was doing some stuff on muscle testing and like how to affect like the lymphatic organs and whatnot. Just again, something that everybody can do in the clinic, but when we share our knowledge with our each other and like talk about our patients, if we don't know what the other person did, it's kind of like we're just talking just to talk rather than we're actually communicating effectively. So just improving the processes that we already have in place here and just making ourselves better, which great time to do so right now.
Well, it's one of the unique strengths of Head to Toe, and it's something we've talked about in the past, is that there isn't just, it's just not just an individual kind of siloed set of doctors who happen to share a physical space, but it's a team of experts who each have levels of expertise and knowledge that they're able to kind of cross-pollinate, share, cross-reference, cross-refer, and then expand how we treat patient issues from a variety of different angles. And that is one of the unique elements of that makes our kind of modern chiropractic approach so special and so powerful and so effective.
Absolutely. I mean, the more tools you have at your disposal, the more problems you can fix.
Yeah, and I mean, even with everything that we have going on, as unfortunate as everything is, I feel like, as a team at Head to Toe, despite everything, I feel like if anything, we've been just growing stronger as a team together through this and just staying extremely positive throughout this whole situation that we have going on right now. And like Dr. Leane, everybody's been saying, like, we've been, learning from each other, teaching each other, and really just focusing on this time to make us as a clinic and as a team just better, to be able to better serve the community, which is our whole goal anyway. So
Well said.
That's phenomenal.
Yep.
Along
Definitely.
those lines of kind of serving the community and kind of, how we can increase our knowledge. I mean, one of the things that we've been kicking around is the idea of doing a kind of a virtual workshop and putting together something where, like we would do if life was kind of normal in a gym or at the clinic or whatever. So one thing to kind of keep our eyes on is maybe doing a workshop here in the upcoming week or two on some of these issues that people are running into at home, and just kind of doing a little self-care type routine that people could use from a foam roll lacrosse standpoint at home.
Yeah,
I
love
think
that.
you
Yeah,
mentioned
definitely.
Yeah, on Thursday, because we've been talking a lot about, like, I've been talking to patients, like, what do they need at home? And one of the things that people are looking for is, definitely that low back self-care, and maybe a little help too with setting up their workstation at home. So it might be a couple part clinic, but I think you'll see something coming out from us for Thursday of next week.
Yeah, and maybe it's those two. We kind of combo it up. Part one is setting up your station from an ergonomic standpoint, and then part two is how you deal with some of the aches and pains associated with working from home and being, because sometimes you can't even set. I mean, it's like if you're working at the kitchen table or you're working at the kitchen counter, or the dining room table, or you're working on the couch or the coffee table with a makeshift desk. It can be hard to get those ergonomics right, and you do start to notice some wear and tear in the neck and shoulders and low back and wrist and elbow and some of these other issues.
Totally.
Definitely.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we'll brainstorm on
Sure.
that. More to come on that, and we'll put some communication out. But as always, it is a pleasure to have everybody all assembled together, even in the midst of all of these crazy things we have going on, and share some insights and ideas to keep people moving and keep them out of pain, and let everyone know that we are still here to help, and we are here to take care of those urgent issues, so that you can be your best, even if we are in a quarantine type situation.
Yeah, take care of
Oh
yourself.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Awesome. All right,
Stay
everybody.
strong, peeps.
Fantastic. We'll talk soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
All
you.
right.
You better be better.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.